Welcome to another episode of the Retirepreneur Podcast. I'm your host with this week's executive summary for busy entrepreneurs building their second act business. Today's episode is designed for maximum impact in minimum time. So this week, we're doing a really crucial deep dive. We're looking at career coaching as, well, maybe the perfect second act for seasoned professionals.
Yeah, it's something we see a lot of interest in. It's low risk, it's incredibly flexible.
And you finally get to monetize all that hard-earned wisdom you've spent decades building up.
Exactly. And it's not just a feel-good career change. It's a really strategic business move. And there's data to back that up.
Absolutely. One of the most fascinating things we pulled was from the Harvard Business Review.
Oh, the data point, yeah.
It confirms that entrepreneurs in their 50s and 60s are actually twice as likely to succeed as founders in their 30s.
Twice as likely. That just completely reframes the risk, doesn't it?
It changes the entire conversation.
And if you look at why they succeed, it points directly to what we're talking about today. It's things like superior pattern recognition.
Right. Seeing the pitfalls others miss.
And deeper, more trusted networks. These are just built-in advantages you have from decades in the game.
But let's get right to the big hurdle. Because we know what so many of you are probably thinking.
The big doubt.
I've worked in finance, or I was an engineer. Who am I to be a coach? Don't I need some special certification?
That skepticism is so common, but honestly, it's misplaced.
Why, though? It feels very real.
It's because people confuse coaching theory with what the market actually values. Think about it. A client who's facing a huge career moment.
Like trying to negotiate an exit package or something.
Exactly. Or managing a failing project. They don't need someone who just read a textbook. They need someone who actually did that, who navigated that exact mess for 25 years.
So the lived experience, the scar tissue, really.
That is the credential. It's the most powerful one you can have.
The client isn't buying coaching, they're buying certainty. And that brings us right to our first insight. How to translate that knowledge into, well, a superpower you can actually sell.
And it all starts with a big mindset shift.
Okay, what's the shift?
You have to stop seeing your experience as just the stuff I did. Clients are not paying you for motivation. They are paying for your wisdom.
That thing that feels second nature to you.
Yes. That intuitive solution you have is priceless to someone who is stuck and stressed out. You basically have the map they've been searching for.
So let's get tactical. What are the, say, 3 core assets that an experienced professional brings to the table that a younger coach just can't?
Okay, so the first one, and this is probably the biggest, is pattern recognition.
The art of prediction.
Kind of, yeah. A young coach might see a difficult manager.
Yeah.
But you, after sitting through hundreds of performance reviews, you instantly see the organizational culture that created and rewards that difficult manager.
Ah, so you see the system, not just the person. You can spot the political landmine they're about to step on.
Before they even feel the ground shake. And when you can tell a client, I've seen this exact scenario 3 times, and here's how it usually plays out, that is immense value.
That speed of insight is huge. Okay, what's the second asset?
Strategic thinking.
Yeah.
Clients aren't stuck because they're lazy. They're stuck because they can't see the big picture.
They're too deep in the weeds.
Exactly. But you've been in those executive meetings. You've seen the 5-year plans. You can help them zoom out and just map out the next 3 critical moves. You're not just solving today's fire. You're structuring their next 6 months.
So it's about trajectory setting, not just problem solving. I like that. What's number 3?
The third is organizational fluency.
The unwritten rules?
Precisely. Every company has the HR handbook, but that's not how things really work. You know how decisions actually get made? Who has the real power?
Why the person who seems unqualified keeps getting promoted?
Yes. You understand the difference between policy and practice. And coaching someone on how to navigate the real system, not the one in the binder, that is just incredibly valuable.
Okay, this is all powerful stuff, but I have to push back a bit. It sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you distill decades of experience into a service?
And that's the key question, and it's why you have to get specific. The first immediate action step for you is really simple.
Okay.
Take out a piece of paper and write down 5 to 7 career problems you solved over and over again.
And not generic things, right?
No, not, I'm good at leadership. Be specific. The fires you were always called in to put out.
Can you give me an example, like a good one versus a bad one?
A generic one is, I managed conflict.
Mhm.
A powerful, specific one is, I helped technical VPs explain complex engineering roadmaps to the non-technical executive team.
I see. Or maybe I coached managers through the anxiety of a huge layoff.
Exactly. Those are high-value, specific pain points. And those problems become the foundation of your coaching niche. You're not just a career coach. You're the go-to person for that very specific thing.
And that specialization lets you charge premium prices, which leads perfectly to our second insight, the 90-day low-risk validation framework.
Yes. The idea is you test this whole thing before you commit. You treat it like a hypothesis.
So phase 1 is the first 2 weeks. Clarity and positioning. We know vagueness is the enemy. What's the action step here?
You have to nail down the transformation you deliver. And you do it by completing the sentence in 20 words or less. I help a specific person achieve a specific outcome so they can experience a transformation.
Okay, run an example through that for us.
Sure. Instead of, I help people find jobs, you might say, I help senior military officers translate their leadership skills into C-suite roles so they can maintain their sense of purpose.
Wow, okay. That's incredibly specific. You know exactly who that's for.
The right client immediately sees themselves in that sentence.
So once you have that, you move to phase 2, which is weeks 3 to 6. This is test your skill, and it involves offering a few complimentary sessions.
Complimentary, not free. There's a difference. You offer 3 to 5 strategy sessions to former colleagues who fit that exact client profile you just wrote.
And this isn't just a coffee chat, right? It has to be structured.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It should be about 45, maybe 60 minutes.
Yeah.
You spend the first part just deeply listening to their problem. Then you spend the second half giving them 1 or 2 high-value, actionable insights they can use tomorrow.
So the goal isn't to sell them, it's just to validate your value. How do you know if it worked?
You have to be really honest with yourself. And right after this session, you ask yourself this one crucial question. Would I have paid for this conversation when I was in their shoes? If they had an aha moment, if they said something like, wow, no one ever explained it like that, then you know. If the answer to that question is a definite yes, you're ready to soft launch.
That personal validation is the real green light. Which brings us to our third insight, architecting the lifestyle and income model. This is where it really becomes a retirepreneur venture.
It's so critical. Coaching, unlike consulting, can be incredibly predictable and flexible. It fits into the lifestyle you actually want.
You're not on the road 40 hours a week.
Not at all. You set your boundaries. You build the business around your life, not the other way around.
And the research points to a really sustainable model.
Yeah.
The 10 to 15 hour week. Let's break that down.
Okay, so you're looking at maybe 6 to 8 hours of actual client sessions. That's your main revenue time.
Then what?
Then you have about 2 to 3 hours for prep and follow-up emails. Maybe another 2 or 3 hours for some light networking, like on LinkedIn.
And only about an hour for admin, like invoicing and scheduling.
It's a completely controllable 10 to 15 hours. It's a world away from a part-time consulting gig that ends up taking over your life.
And that time commitment can still generate really meaningful income. Let's talk numbers, realistically.
For a soft launch, a typical starting range is around $2,400 to $6,000 a month.
And that's based on what, 4 to 6 clients?
Yeah, 4 to 6 clients, meeting twice a month, at an introductory rate of maybe $150 to $250 per session, and your overhead is practically zero.
But the key for our audience is that their rates can go up much faster than a younger coach's. Why is that?
It's because of those assets we talked about, pattern recognition, strategic thinking. When you can save an executive 3 months of banging their head against a wall, what is that worth?
A lot more than $250.
A lot more. So experienced coaches quickly move into the $300 to $600 plus per session range, and it's completely justified by the value they deliver.
So let's talk about that final phase of the 90-day plan, weeks 7 to 12. This is the soft launch pricing. The advice is to keep the offer simple.
Simplicity is everything here. You start with a really straightforward package, maybe 2 60-minute sessions a month with a 90-day commitment.
And that initial $150 to $250 price point does 2 things, right? It brings in cash flow.
And more importantly, it gets you testimonials. Those success stories are the proof you need to raise your rates later. It's a low-risk way to build confidence and refine your whole process.
So as we wrap this up, if you're listening and this is resonating, here's the final thought that really ties this all together. This isn't about reinvention.
No. You don't have to become some new person.
It's about translation.
That's the perfect word for it. You are finally putting a price on the wisdom you've been giving away for free to colleagues for decades. You're just packaging it, structuring it to support the life you want now.
So what's the simplest next step? The one thing someone can do this week?
It's the easiest validation test there is. Reach out to one former colleague you trust. Don't pitch them. Just ask them what career challenge they're struggling with right now.
And then just listen.
Just listen. And if you find yourself naturally helping them find clarity in that one conversation, you know you have a viable business just waiting to be launched.
That's your executive briefing for this week. If you found value in these insights, share this episode with fellow retirepreneurs and subscribe to the Retirepreneur newsletter at retirepreneur.com. Follow us for weekly strategic insights, and remember, your most successful chapter is just beginning. Until next week, keep building